Despite appearances, nothing is greater than the infinite presence. One alone in consciousness with the infinite constitutes a complete majority. When we attempt to fight outside circumstances, we only give those circumstances power in our mind. The practitioner does not fight evil. They know there is no evil. When we engage in fighting with the outer, we are caught up in belief, in separation, and have lost faith in the infinite oneness. This does not mean we sit on our prayer chairs and do nothing. It means we first gain the high perspective so we can be most effective in our actions. As you go into meditation, contemplate the following. Where in your life are you fighting with the outer appearances? How can you call upon the infinite to gain a higher perspective? knowing that there is only one, knowing there is only that which is infinite, perfect, always expanding, always creating, always fulfilling the dreams and the hopes, the requests, the desires and the wishes of the heart of the universe, which is the grand, infinite heart of oneness, connected to every single being here, right now, and throughout the world, throughout all that there is, at every level of existence and being and feeling and knowing that all is well and good, for God is. God is all there is. I know that today is the perfect day for the fulfillment of such dreams and stepping forward bravely, boldly, with courage in the heart, with a desire to add good and beauty, to fulfill the divine purpose. I know each person is the most capable person to receive the perfect message from Reverend Suzette, to hear the perfect music by our musician, TJ, and to receive all this across the land, across the internet, across the universe, through the wonderful connection, heart to heart, of the online, ever-present, thriving internet community. And so this community goes beyond the walls. Today unfolds perfectly. All is truly well. And I know that love abounds. Love is, God is. All beings here and anywhere are thoroughly, divinely connected and fulfilling this day with their joy, expectancy of good, happiness, and it continues from this point right here at Om. For God is all there is. I give thanks. I call it good. And together we say, and so it is. And so now, one of the greatest delights of the day is not the food. It is, for starters, the appetizer known as TJ Moss.
Well, the perfect music, you say. No pressure.
No.
Well, y'all, if I've said anything more times than anything else, it's probably that, and and if you've been here with us since I've been playing, you know that I'm more interested in questions than answers. So I like to ask the questions and the bigger questions. And so this song is a series of big questions that just sort of lead to the answer, which is that we don't know. So, spoiler alert. Sorry, I'm not going to have any answers for you, just a lot more questions. But that's all right. Is there a God up above or a hell below? Either way, you're gonna live your life and never know. Is it love or lust or loneliness you're feeling? Are you reeling from the weight of it all, trying not to fall? When you think you know the answer, the question starts to change. But when you know that you don't know, the answer's still the same. Is the truth out there? Is the truth inside? Or is truth just a word that we use to enthuse our curious side? When you take the time to look inside the book you write within your mind and look between the lines, you find the space that doesn't need to be defined. When you think you know the answer, the question starts to change. But when you know that you don't know, the answer's still the same. And on it goes. It's only all for now. Who knows how long it goes. When you think you know the answer, the question starts to change. But when you know that you don't know, that letting go can ease all things. Yeah, when you know that you don't know, the answer's still the same. The answer's still the same. The answer's still the same.
He just gave my talk.
Nailed it.
It was all perfect. You know, I never tell them what to sing. I let you decide, because I know you'll figure out what that's going to be. That was perfect. Okay. Where do I start? Well, let's start with this. You're going to see these, and there are a bunch of these in the back. I'm just going to start with this because the topic for the month is truth to circumstances. And what I've done is I'm going to take every single month and I'm going to make a postcard that speaks about what we are going to talk about. So that if you want to take this home, you want to give it to somebody, because people ask me all the time, what do you teach? Somebody once said to me, do you believe in God? I went, oh, yes, we call it many things. We don't necessarily call it God. So I've then taken also some of the CSL literature, which over the years has become very difficult to read because it's so broad, it's so big, and I've condensed it down. So this one is Christ consciousness. And then last month we did self-care. And I have 2 more coming. So the reason I'm bringing this up is they're really well, not that I did the work, AI did the work, but they really make sense. And that's what I want us to know is that what we do makes a lot of sense. Okay? It's a complicated world out there. And so being able to take, in fact, today I'm going to talk about illusions. Illusions. How many people have had an illusion this week? Everybody. Raise your hand, everybody. Life is an illusion many, many times. But I'm going to talk about the courage to face the illusion. Because a lot of times we get attached to the illusion, think that that is the truth, and it's not necessarily. So, basically what I'm going to do is unravel what they call the veil of circumstances, things. And I'm going to use 2 different stories. One is going to be about Om, and one's going to be about a friend of mine, which I won't reveal right now, but something drastic happened to them. And then I want you to see that these are just 2 examples of how illusions are built, and yet there's a way to get out of it. There's a way to move through it. And if you like to take notes, there's a card on your seat that you can write some of the notes, because I'm going to give you a step-by-step way to do this. The thing that I want you to remember is that an illusion is an appearance. And Tom taught me this many years ago, and now I use it all the time. That when we look at life and it appears as though it's not possible, then we make it as our truth. But it's not. It is not. It's an illusion. And in fact, I wrote this down because in my mind I was writing this talk thinking, how am I going to bring these 2 stories together? As I said, today is a mind twister. It's a mind, because we perceive things one way when there's really a bigger picture playing out for our lives. Many, many cases, and in fact, the practitioner will, when you come to them and you have whatever going on, that's the illusion. And they're letting that be released by talking about it, getting over it, moving through it. I have, again, 2 examples I'll show you today. All right, the first one I have is about 14 years ago, maybe 13 and a half years ago, Om had moved into a 500 square foot room on El Cajon Boulevard. And I took a class from my dean, my ministerial dean, called Busting Loose from the Money Game. Okay? Busting Loose from the Money Game. And here's what the book says. And I had to write it down because it's kind of like, I want you to really get what this book means. It says, we as humans make up that we are constrained by outside rules, regulations, and whatever else we want to make up in our minds, right? However, the truth is we are creating our own play, our own story of life, our own stage, our own characters, and illusions according to our beliefs. Now, when I first heard this, I was like, what does he really mean? What's he really talking about? Because I never thought of my life that I created that. But the truth is I have. I've created everything, whether it was I lost everything and I built it back up, or you're here today. I've created you. You are my audience. Wow. Sometimes that blows me away that you are here, really want to hear me. But the good part of the book is that illusions that we have in our lives do not have to control us. Has anybody had an illusion control them this week? Yes. Instead, the illusion is to challenge us to bust loose of and realize that there's an authentic power that moves through us, in us, as us, and through us. And to always remember that, always remember that. So that's the first story. And I took, the first story is that I started with Om, and 15 years ago, and I had no idea what Om would look like. I had no idea. I didn't even know if I could pay the rent. But I had faith in something greater than me. And so, and taking this class was to allow me to see a bigger picture, to not to look at the checkbook every week or every hour. Do I have enough to pay the next month's rent? Okay? When you're starting a business, and I'd barely been in business a year, and I started with 8 people, and now I was just counting, I have over 72 people that I actually work with, one-to-one, at some capacity, whether they're here, they're on the internet, or they're taking a class. Anyway, so that's the first story. The second story is a very good friend of mine one day stopped at my house, unannounced, knocked on my door, which they knock on the back door, and my dogs are going nuts. They walk into the door, and they said to me, "I just got fired." Whoa. Now, I was the first person that they saw. You know what it's like? Has anybody been fired before? It's awful. Now, this person had been on the job for 17, 18 years, had created something pretty magnificent in Lakeside, and really was in the process of probably retiring. But, of course, that didn't play into I got fired. So, they obviously were very upset. And so when you're with somebody like that, you have to just kind of let them be. You can't fix them. You can't change them. You can't give them a new belief system. You let them be. The hard part was that she wanted to go and pounce on all the people that did that to her. The board of directors, the person who fired her, anybody that didn't like her. We can all relate, right?
Yep.
Okay. I can tell you she didn't do that. She did not do that. Thank God she did not do that. I did have to say, maybe there's a better way to do this. Maybe there's a few ways. Anyway, after a few weeks, I did have a spiritual talk with her and discussed who she is, her contributions, which are pretty amazing. This individual is brilliant, in my opinion. Probably one of the most brilliant people I know in their field, and what the future could bring. Now, the illusion is that she got fired. And because of that, she had to go and face the illusion that she got fired and have that courage. It takes courage to step through this. I know when I started it took courage when I had no idea what I was going to do. And I just said, okay, show me what you want, and go create. So both of these scenarios tend to make things up. How many of you are in business, have been in business for yourself? When you're in business for yourself, you're always questioning where you're going to do next, what you're going to do, how you're going to market. Do you have the finances? I have a list, right? I've been in business for myself for over 35 years. 100% commission in my other work. 100%. And they've only grown because I focus on one thing, and that's called service. Serving people, serving humanity, serving whatever. And in fact, God and I have an agreement that if I'm out doing God's work, Spirit's work, whatever word you want to call it, it's out there getting business for me. So I never worry about work, ever, ever. So, the thing I want to say about my friend, though, I'm going to weave these back and forth, so stay with me, is that she had to, what I call, heal the sting of loss. Because it was 17 years. That's a long time to be in the work. Or, what I would say, a belief. So it's a belief that she's not enough, or they don't want her, or whatever that belief might be. And then transform that into possibilities. So let me bridge these stories. Now, here's where you can take notes if you want to. The first thing that one has to do when we have these, what I call illusions in our minds, is that first we have to become aware of the illusion. Right? You have to go, I'm not sure if that's true, or let me think about that, or pause, or call a practitioner and get help. Something that brings us back to an understanding that we're not limited by whatever that rule might be, or what somebody thinks about us, or whether we don't have enough money, or whatever the belief system that's coming up. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is then we have to question the beliefs that we have come up with. We have to go in there. It's like a prayer, you know. When we do a prayer, our prayer is an affirmative prayer which says, here's what we know. Here's what we're claiming. Here's what we're going to move towards. Here's the direction we're going to go. And we eliminate that which no longer serves us. How many people have done a prayer and somebody says, and we let go of that which no longer serves us? Yeah. We have to let go of those things that don't serve us anymore, because it's not where we need to go. It's not where we need to go. So for me, while I, working Om and trying to figure this whole thing out, it was like I had to let go of beliefs like there's not enough money, or I'm not deserving to do this. I'm not good enough. I mean, I used to speak in front of 6 people, and I just imagined there were 100 people in the room. That's what we do. I created my illusion of knowing that there was more that's going to hear this. And today, whether you know it or not, I go back and I listen to myself and I go, oh, that was okay. No, you can let that one off or whatever. But I look at the numbers, and the numbers are, for all of our speakers, are very high. So it's not the appearance, it's not the illusion that there's not enough here. Or for my friend, it was, I'm not appreciated. This particular person happens to do grants. Grants. That's a specialized job, right? It takes really dedication to do a grant, do it properly, and bring in money. And this person has brought in millions of dollars to the association that she worked for. But that was one. And one of the beliefs was they have no idea what it takes. And we love that one. Or they just want the power. Now, power is an illusion also. Somebody who wants power, it's an illusion in their mind. It doesn't feel like it when it's you, but it is an illusion because they have no power. We're all equal here. The thing that I did eventually say to her, which I thought was, I said, you're just like me. You have to have a 2x4 hit you before you will leave your job. Yeah. I mean, when I left my last church, I had to have a 2x4 to get out of there so that I could move into creation of something that was greater. All right, so it's letting go of those beliefs. That's questioning the beliefs. The next thing is letting go of control. Who is a control freak here? Yay! So I had to let go of looking at the checkbook. I had to let go of wondering if people are going to donate. Let go of any belief that I had that I was not enough. When you're speaking in front of 6 people, it's a little different. It is different. So I have to tell you, in order to get more people, I had a lot of food. And I would have a class after service. I didn't even have a musician at that time. But I would have a lot of food, and I would have a little class. So we'd actually be able to sit and talk and work on something. So it had more meaning for them. So release control. So for my friend, with the revenge thing, or I'm going to get them, it was like, let's talk about this in a spiritual way. You know what? I really believe that we live in a fair universe. God is fair. Karma is real. And cause and effect is already operating. There is nothing for us to do but to know when we really trust in this thing we call God. I didn't know this would be a prop. Here, I'll even use these. We use our Christ consciousness to be higher, to think something different, and know that we can simply release them to whatever, because the universe is going to take care of them without us. Because anybody that repeats behaviors that are XYZ, it's eventually going to catch up to them, right? Do we all agree on that?
Yes.
Good, all right. So, the other part of this, which I think is really important, is that we have to trust in the abundance of the universe. I mean, if you look in this room, if you just look around here, everything in this room was created by somebody. Everything. Somebody that comes here or has been here created this or gave it to us. This podium right here was given to me by Christian Sorensen at Seaside Center for Spiritual Living. I used to do all the internet stuff for them, and I saw this and I said, "Hey, Christian, you going to use this?" He says, "No, it's yours." So it's become my podium. That unit that's holding the clock with the lights around it, that was donated to me by Reverend Sharon Hudson. Because when she left her church, she said, "Oh, you can have that." The photos here are all created by me and Mava. These lights were done by Emma and her husband. This was created by Brenda and her husband.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
This was a beautiful gift that was given to me. This inside here, you'll see these darker. I had a bowl, ringing bowl that was given to me at my graduation, and somebody used it and hit it the wrong way, and it broke. And so I put it under a chair because I was so upset. I was like, I don't know what to do with this. All those things look like illusions, right? So one day we're moving here. Actually, I think we were moving here. And I said, "Brenda, see if you can do anything with this."
And it sat there for a while.
And it sat there for a while. And then it took them a year. It's okay. It was perfect because it took, I think it was a year for you to create this. And so they had never done this kind of work before. This is their actual work. So they created this, and then this is silver and gold leaf on here. And these are actual railroad ties of different sizes. And I thought, I should do a talk around that because it looks like this is what our life looks like. All these illusions going around. And we have to at some point stop and see where they connect. What's our belief around them? I show you this because it's important for you to realize that everything in here is all paid for. And that the creation, this is what we do here. We create. We create. And not only just create things for you to see pretty things, but create so you know you can do the same. Because that's part of the process. Ernest Holmes says this. I thought this was really great. He says, "One alone in consciousness with the infinite constitutes a complete majority." So all we have to do is stop what we're doing and saying, "Reveal to me what I need to know." I can't tell you how many times I said that on the way to where we are today. And every time I said that, you know what happened? The phone rang, somebody walked in and gave me money. I mean, it was like, "Oh, okay, God, I'm moving. I'm going to do it. Okay." I couldn't deny that. So the illusion of not enough or that we were going to not succeed was that, an illusion. So the next thing is the tap in. Obviously, I'm talking to you about tap into the infinite possibilities. You know, we sometimes walk around like this. I know I do. And I really have to go like that. I have to open myself up to what are the possibilities. And then I have to move myself into the field of infinite, what they call intentions. The intention of what it is I want to accomplish. Watching Olivia there. And then say, okay, is this what I really believe? Is this really what I want? And then know that as I'm moving in the direction of my intentions, guess what? The universe is saying, let's match you up with what's the right thing for you to do. So I never really worry about whether I'm doing the right thing or the wrong thing, because if my intentions are in the right place, then that's going to match up. So that's something to remember. Tap into the infinite. And then release resistance. How many people resist all the time? I'm not right sure. I'm not sure. Oh, you don't really mean that, do you? The thing is, if we are identifying with resistance, this is really important. This is kind of the black and white now. When we are resisting, what happens is that we are blocking the flow of our abundance. You can't be both ways. You can't say, oh, I can't do that, and then say, but give me. It's like, let go of the resistance. And just say, okay, I'm going to, even if it's one step in the direction that you want to go. Just one step. That's all it takes. It's one step here, then there, then there, then there, then there. And pretty soon, if you know, I know when I was going through this, it was like, I didn't believe this at all. I was like, I don't know how this is going to work. So I did a lot of testing. Ernest Holmes says, test this stuff. So I tested it, and I would watch myself make the mistake over and over and over, and then I'd say, okay, I get it. I don't want to do it that way anymore. And I'd say, all right, let me try this now. And then I go, what's the next thing? And I'd slowly watch myself change and shift and change and shift. I tell you this because if you don't believe it's going to happen, it's not going to happen. But if you want to move in that direction, just take one step forward. You don't have to go 12 steps, okay? You can take 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, a little at a time, because what will happen is then you actually see it unfolding in front of you, and then you're there. And then you can look back and say, oh, that's how that happened. Okay, I get it now. And then you can recreate it over and over and over again. The other things we need to practice forgiveness. My friend's not really ready yet. Still working on that part. But being in gratitude. You know, when I said to them, you know, it took a 2x4, and I just want to remind you that I think you've been working on this for about 6 months, because you've been on a boat in Spain, not working. So I think you really wanted to retire. You're like, oh, yeah, I guess I did want that. So that point there is that the illusion in their mind was that, oh, no, I'm going to work. I can do anything anywhere in the world. But how many people tried to connect with Candace? Happy birthday, Candace. A lot of us. And the illusion was that the internet didn't work. But it worked on our side. And I got an email this morning that said, thank you, everybody, for trying to connect with me. Because she has friends all over the world. She's in St. Lucia's Islands. And she has turned 75. I'm telling your age, Candace. And she had all of her friends from Ukraine and wherever she's been, France, USA, to try and just come in for like 20 minutes on Zoom. But unfortunately, she couldn't connect. So we all tried, and the illusion is it didn't work. Well, she knows that we did, because she wrote a nice note to us today. All right. Wayne Dyer says this. I love this. This is one I forgot about this quote, but he said, if you change the way you look at things, things you look at change.
Yes.
Yes. So think about how can I just switch or change a little bit around that. Okay, the next thing is focus on what you want. Obviously, create. How much time do I have? I'm okay. Follow your intuition. How many people use their intuition as a tool? Okay, what do I say about intuition? You guys know what I say. Live your intuition. Live it. Because intuition is God speaking to you. So just live it. Don't be afraid of it. And if you don't know if it's a hit or not, God's not going to give you a paragraph. It's going to be a sentence, It'll be a word or two. It'll be a feeling. But follow it. Trust it. Live it. Because when we start, I remember when I finally learned to start doing that. I mean, I'm even living it when I'm in an argument, or not argument, but you know, the tit for tat thing you do at home. My intuition says, shut up, shut up, shut up. So I do listen to my intuition. I want you to laugh about this because it happens. It's the truth. But live it so you know that you're following it. I don't even know what I'm going to do every morning when I get up. I mean, I have my obvious things to do, but I follow what is the thing that I need to do. What's the most important thing I need to do for that day? Then integrate what I'm talking about, all of this, into your daily life, all the time. Everything that you do, not just once in a while. Integrate. That's why I wanted you to take notes. So if you were taking notes, you would start to integrate that. Anyway, the whole point of this is it's a journey. We're all on a journey, individualized journeys. Oh, good, I have plenty of time. The idea is to break free of those limited beliefs and to live a full life. I'm going to cover 3 more quick points, and then I'll be wrapping it up. So, and this is kind of a review, but I want you to understand what the illusion is. That's number 1. Really understand what that illusion is. Number 2 is have the courage to face the illusion. In other words, don't be afraid of it. Just know that that's what it is. And 3 is become a spiritual warrior. So understanding the illusion, I think I've talked a lot about that. I think just knowing, that's, you know, and an illusion maybe, let's just take my friend who lost her job. And it's never fun to get fired. We know that. There's a lot of feeling around that. And those feelings have to be addressed. But the illusion to her is that, you know, she's releasing everything that she created. And I can't tell you who it is because you would know, but it's somebody that really did some amazing, amazing work. But the truth underneath all of that is because of who she is and the knowledge she has, and if she really wanted to work, she could get a job tomorrow. If she wants to retire, she's actually going to take a trip someplace, take 3-4 months off. Think about this. We don't get that pleasure to do that. So the point is that over time the illusion will become more real as to what's really the right thing to do. So I'm just trying to understand it. Have the courage to face the illusion. It's hard to face an illusion. It's hard. But when we do, and we know that it has no power, again, illusions have no power, then it's like, oh, well, it can't hurt me. So I might as well just kind of go through it. Again, it's like a prayer. When we do a prayer, we say this is what we want, and we move through it, and what happens, everything else falls away. It's that simple. And then become a spiritual warrior. What's a spiritual warrior? Well, I actually made a slide of this because I thought you might want to really know what you're doing. A spiritual warrior is to be authentic. Spirit-centered spiritual warrior entails recognizing there's only one power, the infinite presence. The external forces that appear as power are nothing more than smoke and mirrors, attempts to control, masked as power. When we engage in battle with these illusions, we reinforce their existence. That's an important sentence there. Instead, we must embrace the understanding that there's no evil, no power outside of the infinite oneness. You're connected to something. Because you are conscious, you are connected to something that's greater than we could ever imagine. It's just bringing that back up and saying, I'm conscious about this. Okay, I can deal with this. I can walk through this. I can move through this. And not getting caught up in what appears as lack and limitations or whatever. So I'm going to conclude with a a couple of things. One is, the quicker you realize the illusion, speak truth to it. Get help. Ask somebody. If you can't see it, ask somebody to help you get through it so that you can move through it. And continue, what I would say, to just, as one person said to me when I first started OM, and I was under the illusion that I couldn't do anything. They said, just go create what you want. It's that simple. Go create what you want. So if you don't see it, heal yourself, and then go create what you want. So today, I've created you. We've all created all of this. And now I'm asking you to go create what you want next week. Can you do that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Done deal.
Done deal. All right, so we're going to do our affirmation, and I'll pray this into the week for us. So we do it 3 times. The first time is speaking to our soul. You can come up if you want. And you can play while I'm praying, too. I like that. So we say it to our soul, then we say it, and then normally I open the doors, let's blast it out so everybody else gets it. So you want to stand, you can. You can sit, I don't care. So let's close our eyes, or no, keep your eyes open, I guess. Let's just whisper this. I align with true power and let her rip. Say it normally now. I align with true power and let him rip. Now, maybe you might want to stand up when you really yell it out. You ready? I align with true power and let him rip. And so, knowing that truth, that we are letting it rip, we're letting Spirit move through our lives in so many different ways, because we are connected to something that is greater than we could ever imagine. The I am that I am. The spiritual truth of Spirit, God, the infinite, is always active. And so as I know that truth of Spirit being all that is, I know that we are all connected to that infinite wisdom, that infinite source, that realization that Spirit is a part of us moving through our lives and that we're never alone. And so I know and accept for everyone here, whatever that thing is that you thought about during the prayer, where you felt separated, you didn't know how to move through it, is that today you have the tools to move through the illusion of not enough, the illusion of not enough money, the illusion of someone controlling us, and to just know that Spirit is on your side and has your back, right here, right now, and that there's nothing in the way of you having that which you have your intentions towards, because it's all good. It's all for service. It's all for the betterment of life. And so I bless you. I bless all of us for our intentions of creating a world that does work for everyone, and for showing up today and doing the work. And so with that, I just say thank you, God. Join me in saying, and so it is. Amen. Thank you.